everybody. I am live. So welcome to my live here at Okies Eden. I know I'm a little early, but as you can see behind me, the weather is not going to participate in a good way today. So with that said, I got my notes here because I'm going to be doing a bunch of work and I wanted to not be so choppy with everything. But I'm going to give a shout out real quick. Number one to the guy I've been watching for a while now, and he's been very supportive of my channel. And some of you already know him, but it's at fire_Dr. Ninja Turtle. So if you don't follow him, if you get a chance, go follow him. That would be awesome. Hey, Explorer, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm doing my quick garden live. Just gonna have to bear with me. It's gonna be choppy. I'm gonna be hard some stuff because I'm gonna be cooking later this week, next week. So just bear with me. So yeah, that shout out is to at fire_Dr. Ninja Turtle. Go look him up. He's got some good stuff. Explorer Rinks is on. She's got some really good stuff. Today's going to be reality TV at its. This is me live. I'm in my dirty clothes. I'm in my work clothes. Don my sunglasses. Hey, Chef said, would you do me a favor? Would you guys mind if I give you a blue wrench? Because I'm going to be digging some dirt. And if trolls come on, I don't want them saying stuff. Is that okay with you guys? And can you hear me okay? I have my microphone up here. It says it's windy and you can see the sky behind me. We're supposed to get thunderstorms. Is it okay to give you guys a blue wrench? And then I'll remove them before I go off. I hope you guys can hear me. All right. So Chef said I'm going to give you, so if you can just kind of keep an eye and make sure the trolls have been really bad lately. So here I am, Okies Eden. You guys have all been familiar with my garden. I'll swap it around later. Right now, I'm going to do a couple things of harvest. Okay, just tilted. The kale has gone crazy. So I've been harvesting most of the other potatoes and stuff, and so the kale has been upset, and it's gotten to be green with envy. So there's a pun. So what all I do, some people do this different. I'll break off the smaller pieces because some of the bigger ones are kind of bitter. But I'll just, since I'm getting ready to harvest this for the last time, I am just tossing the stalks behind me, and they will get composted into the pumpkin patch. And so you'll see what I'm doing. The stalks can be bitter, and even the bigger pieces of kale can be bitter. So if it's too big, I just toss it. This one's got some bug damage, but you can see that's good. Some people do this with scissors. Some are more, I don't know, professional about it. But I steam these and then saute them. Kale goes a long way, just like if you have any other greens, collard greens, beet greens, turnip greens. When you wilt them down, you can have a huge pile, and as it wilts down, it really shrinks down. So I'll pull a lot of these off, and this will keep me for a couple days, and then that stalk is going to come off. That's not going to produce anymore. So I have some there. So there is my kale. That'll be a good dinner for tonight and tomorrow, or a lunch or something. Come on over here. Let me see. It's going to be choppy because I got to keep moving this thing. So this is my third growing of radishes this year. Don't mind the radishes. They're kind of camera shy. So, you know, when I pick them and show them to you, they're going to blush. But as you can see, the rain, we've had so much heavy rains. We've had 4 and 5 inches of rain for the last couple of weeks. Every time we get a storm, that it has washed the dirt away. But these are perfect. These are quarter size. And I'm just going to pick a few. This one here is a really nice size one. So what I do is I'm going to rinse these off. I'm going to snip these here. Those greens with kale, they go great with any other greens you eat, turnip greens, beet greens, anything. So I'm picking these. I'm going to leave some of the smaller ones. Here's a nice size one. Look at that one. It's about the size of a half. That's great. I have some French ones growing over in my boxes over there. That's another nice size one. And I'm not going to pick them all. I'm kind of thinning them out. But these are some really nice radishes. Look at the color on those. So kale and radishes. So that's going to give me kale greens and beet greens for dinner. And then these will go in a salad. Or we'll just eat these plain. As a matter of fact, as an old country boy, the best way to eat these is just like that. Right out of the dirt. People don't think that's right, but we love them like that. Because radishes grow so, once I pick this little patch, I'm going to replant it. It won't affect what I'm doing with the pumpkins because they grow so fast. These will be gone. I'll do another growing. They'll be gone before the pumpkins are ready. So let's walk over here. Sorry for the choppiness again. So you're going to see, there's my potatoes. I have about 60 plants, 50, 60 plants left. You're like, well, Jason, what's with all the weeds? Don't you weed your garden? I do weed my garden. It's for something like a tomato plant or a pepper plant or something like that. Beans, potatoes, they will overtake any weed out there. Can everybody hear me right now? Is my sound coming through okay? No salt. Yeah, fresh right out of the garden. Oh, hey, Natty. If I'll recognize you guys all later, as I just want to pick stuff and get this done. So I have different. So this here is done for now. I'm going to pick some more later. I just want to do a quick one, so you guys could see it. I'm going to put that over here. Tomatoes. Look at this. Let me see if I can find it. I got my first little cherry tomato right there. I have a cucumber coming up over there. And here's what I want to show you. This is, hopefully you can see this. These are my pole beans. So this is about a 3-foot high fence. And so you can see the pole beans grow up the fence. And I'm going to do this more. I mean, look at this. Look at all these beans. I mean, that's right from that one leaf, under that one leaf. Again, so I don't bother weeding my beans or my potatoes. Green beans and potatoes will overtake any weeds. And as a matter of fact, let me show you something. So here's more. These got a little bigger than I wanted because I didn't get out here to pick them quick enough. I wanted to pick them on the live, but you know, I mean, look at this. I've only done in here so far, and that's what I have. My intentions are, once I harvest these plants, these are all going to come down. And then 33 foot, 33 foot, 33 foot, 33 foot. So 33 times 4 is going to be how many pole beans, how many footage of pole beans I'm going to have. So in a 1 foot area, I'm not even done yet. I mean, I still have more down here to pick. You know, multiply that by 120 times in one picking. So they're doing really well. And the reason I don't bother weeding so much, I'm a working garden. My garden is a working garden. Um, it's not a home and garden. Nobody's going to show up at my house and ask, can I come take a look at your beautiful garden? It's going to go in a magazine. They're not going to do that. I feed my family with it. I cut my costs with it. And I'm going to show you something right now, which is always hilarious to me when people say, why don't you weed that part of your garden? Well, let me show you. Green beans, pole beans are so strong and such a hardy plant, they will grow around a weed. They will use the weeds. Do you see all that? It wraps itself around the weeds. The hay, as it grows, it'll grow around the hay. Here's a better example. Look at that. Look, my phone's all over the place. Look at how it wrapped around that. Now, I have these 2 rows. I got this row and this row of green beans left. But I wanted to show you something. If you can see this, hopefully this will come up. So as you can see, these beans, okay? So I'm just going to pull this plant. I am done harvesting my bush beans, okay? They're too big, they're too tough, the seeds are huge, okay? So I'm going to pull this plant. These are now seed beans. If you can see, that's probably 5 inches. Some of these are bigger than that. These beans I planted from some of my seeds last year. That's going to go over there for compost. I'll pull this one. So these seeds are big. These are no, I mean, you can eat these. They're fine to eat, but you do not want to eat. If you've ever bought beans from the store and they're big like that, and you can actually see the shape of the seed inside the bean, they'll make great seed for next year. When I am done harvesting the final batch, which I did the other day for my green beans, because they're getting too big now, I let them go for another week or 2, let them get really big, and then I dry these inside. That's going to be next year's bean crop. I won't have to buy any beans next year. My beans will come from my own crop. I'll have 400 or 500 seeds. That's why these rows are still here. Otherwise, they would have been dug up already. I'm not going to pick these till next week. We have a thunderstorm rolling in. I'm going to let them get as big as possible. You can even see, look at the size of this one. I mean, look at that. That's huge. So then these will get harvested. And another, let me look at the camera real quick. Another thing that I watched a show the other day, a gardener, and he was actually picking this stuff. And as he finished picking this stuff, he was throwing it in a trash bin, and he was going to put it in his garbage. All of this is all green beans. Pick up a lot of nitrogen, and they have it in the roots. They have a ball in there that's a nitrogen ball. Put that back in your garden. Let that compost in. Don't throw that in the trash. That's going to add all the nutrients back to your soil. All the sun from all the photosynthesis this whole spring and early summer is in those sprouts, in the stems and the leaves, and in the roots. That should be composted in. The old farmer I knew that taught me some of my gardening techniques and stuff, he would be angry if he saw somebody throwing stuff like that in the trash, because that's just pure 100%, the best compost. I use no commercial fertilizer. This is all organic. I don't use anything here. And you'll see in a minute, go over here. Let me just put this one down here. So that's what I got so far. I'm going to have more later, because when this live is done, my little tightener thing on the ball here is not working very well. Hopefully everybody can hear me still. Hey, Janine. Hope everybody can hear me. In a minute, I'm going to sit down in the chair over here once I'm done, and I'll just talk into the camera. So as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of potatoes. So I got about, I think about 60 plants if I counted right, at least 60 plants. Earlier this year, when I was talking about planting my potatoes on the camera, I make a grid every year. I draw it out. I'm going to have russets here, baby reds here, so on and so forth. I threw it out by mistake. I'm going through all my YouTube paperwork that I did for notes that are no good anymore. And I was going through it. I tossed my grid out, I think. So you can probably hear the rain now. It is starting to rain, but I don't care. I'm going to get through this. I have one more bowl, and I'm going to dig up a couple plants. So I guess what I'm getting at is, I think these are my baby reds, and I know these are my russets. So let's do this. Let me dig my russets. Remember, I do all this by hand. This whole garden's been done by hand. Okay, it's 1,000 square feet. I don't have a rototiller. I borrowed my son's little battery operated, but let me see. There. Okay. So when I'm doing potato plants, when I pick potatoes, harvest potatoes, you see here. Wait, right there. All you got to do is you'll see how they're dying out. These are getting ready. These could still go another week. The plants are still alive. But you can see I've already hilled these earlier when I was planting them. So this is just one potato plant right here. Okay. What I do is I start about a foot back because I use my spade fork because you don't want to poke any of the potatoes. Okay. I just get way down in there. Okay. And then I hold the plant like this and I pull. Okay. So you'll see before I go anywhere, you see that? Before I go any further, I can already see my potatoes. So I stop right there. You see a little one here. They could have gone longer. Okay. Now I'll pull up the rest. Okay. Now that's the mother, the host plant. Okay. That can go over in compost. Little potatoes I'm not worried about. Okay. This is all compost. Do not throw that in the trash. That's going to go over there. Now you'll see. Now what I'm going to do is, that's nasty. Okay. Now that's compost. See all my compost? That's nasty. It's a banana peel probably, but that's all nutrients in the soil. I mean, that's all my compost. Look at that. There's another baby one. We're going to let that one, we're going to keep that one. Now I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to roll it. And you'll already see I got more. There's another one, okay? And break this up. Okay, look at this. There's another one. So that's one plant so far, okay? I don't think I'm done yet, but let's do this. We'll see. Oh, get that slug out of here. Birds can have that. Okay. I get dirty. Like my grandfather always said, gardens are just sandboxes for adults. It really is. Okay. So there are some little russets, okay? Can you see those? Hoping you can see that. So that's just from one plant. So my next plant starts back here. I'm going to get that tomorrow. But we'll see if any more travel, okay? Because they do travel. But look at the soil. So see the blackness? That's my compost working. Okay? That's good stuff right there. Okay. Then I'll just smooth that back over. Now, I'm going to try this one. Try this one over here. Again, I apologize for the choppiness of this. So just hang tight. So you'll see, let's go in here. Oh, I have one here. Okay, I have no idea what's in this hill here, okay? So let me see here. I just found another one. Let's see. Okay, perfect, right there. Okay, here we go. So let me get rid of some of the weeds here. So you can see already, these are going to be my Yukon Golds, I think. As you can see, rain has already washed some of that away. So again, I'm going to clean out around the plant. I'm going to start about a foot back. Put that under. I'm going to grab the plant. I'm going to pry it open. Yes, these are my Yukon Golds. So look at those. Look at those. I mean, look at that. They're on the small side on this plant. These are going to fry up nice. I mean, look at that. Break this. Oh my goodness. You know, this honestly is what, to me, is what gardening's about. When you can pull something out of the dirt and wipe this down. I can take with the Yukon Golds are pretty easy to skin when they're fresh like this. You take your shirt, and I'll tell you what, right out of the Oklahoma dirt. You see that? That is raw potato is so good. I'll finish that in a few minutes. But look at this. Look at these. This is one plant. The seed potato, because I'm in the United States, we don't use metric. That's about 1.5 inches diameter. Look at all the potatoes I'm getting. And there was other ones on there. That'll fry up. Compost. That'll fry up nice. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Again, see all that's all compost in there. Look at that. See if I got any others. And I'll go through this later again with a fine-tooth comb when I do more. So I am beside myself as far as which ones are my baby reds. I'm going to do one more potato plant right here, I think. Right now there's probably, well, 3 pounds of potatoes out of 2 plants, which is pretty good. So this one's huge. I'm assuming this is a russet, but we'll see. But look at the size of this plant. That's one potato. That's literally one potato I planted. But now, before I speak too soon, let me check. Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm going to grab the root or the stem and pry. Oh, I got me a marlin here. Okay. Oh, I guess these are Yukons. Okay. So look at this. Okay, there's the host. Okay, you can tell. That'll go over there. Boom. So look at these. I'll finish that one up. I hope you guys can see this. Watch this. There's 2 more in the distance. That will fry up. I could have let this go longer, but they will fry up nice. That's all great compost right there. That's all nitrogen and other nutrients you just cannot believe. But wait, there's more. Okay, I'm going to be careful here. Got an anthill with other larvae. You got to be real careful here. There's a lot of fire ants around this area. But I'm guessing at least 5 or 6 pounds of potatoes there. So that is not bad. So for 3 plants, you figure about 1.5 pounds a plant times another 60 plants plus what I've already taken. Should be a good yield. Again, I apologize for the choppiness. Let's do this now. I hope everybody, well, I hope you don't see me because nobody wants to look at a 60-year-old dirty old man here with his mud all over him now. Whew. Let me get this higher a little bit because before I do that, I think, let me turn this. I showed this in the video the other day, but this is another potato plant. Okay, this will be ready in probably a month. But check this out. Cucumber trellis, and there is my first cucumber. How cool is that? Just so everybody knows, you can probably hear it. It's raining on the screen right now. I'm going to go back in the house and sit down in there, and then we can go over stuff. It's just going to rain and get miserable out here, so I hope you guys are okay with that. So just sit tight. If you're nice to me and you don't get too rowdy, I'm going to turn the camera and show you Lexi in a minute. I had to go pick her up at the groomers. I babysat last night and had to go pick up at the groomers. So just bear with me. Let me set this down for a second. Hold on. Lexi, come here. Sit. So that is Lexi. I know you guys are always asking about her. Can you guys all hear me still okay, I hope? Let me get her a treat. Woo! Okay. That's better. That was just going to be too much. It's starting to rain. That's why I started a little bit early because I had no idea. We're talking thunderstorms again. So, but now I'm back. So if there's any questions, so name. So thank you guys for all hanging out here and stuff. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the live. I had some stuff all set up. I had some dad jokes set for it. My modem is literally right there. We're also in. Is it breaking up? While I was doing that, I got into the digging. I like digging in the dirt. While I was doing that, um, I decided I would be doing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm as close as I can get. It's 3 feet from me. Hold on. Hold on. Let me check one thing real quick. Are you there? Is that better? Does that seem to be working better? Awesome. I had jokes prepared for each time I harvested something. When I was getting to the potatoes, it was supposed to be I harvest potatoes in my garden, and then I did a YouTube channel about it. So that makes me a real YouTuber because potatoes are tubers. Uh, the radishes, they blush because everybody's watching them. The pole beans, uh, I didn't really have one. My pumpkin patch is going to be gorgeous. Oh, did I did give a joke. Okay. So so I didn't get to. You guys saw the cucumbers, the trees. You've seen the garden expansion. I'm going another 30 feet to the south. So I'm going to be adding. Is that south? Yeah, south. I'm going south about 30 more feet. So by the time it's done, it's going to be 2,000 square feet. And then I'm going to have planter boxes around the property. I'm not going to count those in the square footage, but they're going to be there because my goal is to plant um, little planter boxes and have. Thank you, Natty. I appreciate it. I want to have wildflowers planted around the property so it draws in butterflies and bees and other insects that help pollinate. Is the goal there. And then I'm gonna in that garden where the trellises were. I have two more trellises over the winter. I'm going to install those, and on the channel I'm going to show you in my wood shop as I build the trellises, and then I'm going to dig the holes for the trellises with a post hole digger, and then I'll secure those in because the whole area is going to be a big square area in there, and then that's going to have fencing at the top, about 2 foot of fencing all around the top that my grapevines are going to climb. So all the way around is going to be vines that are hanging with grapes, and then I'm going to have cucumbers coming up the sides of the trellis. I'm going to have pole beans going climbing up the side of the fence. So I'm really doing a lot of vertical gardening now. And then all of the inside of my garden next year is going to be radishes, kale, beets, turnips, rutabaga, all sorts of salad type foods in the center. And then potatoes, I'm going to try to grow in towers and bags so they're out of the garden. And then all the real estate inside is going to be mostly fresh vegetables for salads. Natty, yes. So we had a 12-inch snowstorm this year, which is very rare for this area. Usually we get one or two ice storms where you lose power because the ice gets on the wires and it breaks. And but other than that, we don't have harsh winters. No, we usually get down lowest. We get 20s, 30s for a couple days. Then it'll go back up to 50s and 60s, and then go back down. Every once in a while, you'll get 5 degrees or zero. You'll have a cold snap that's really bad. But for the most part, no. That's why I grow early because if I get a good early spring, I can grow 3 harvests of green beans. And I'm from up north, so I'm up from the northeast. I'm up near the tri-state area. I was from upstate New York in the country. I was a hillbilly in the backwoods, and so you had one planting, and then it was fall. Down here, I can get three if I'm fortunate. Um, I can get 6 or 7 or 8 like radishes. I can get 2 or 3 kales. I can get 3 or 4 or 5 lettuces if I'm fortunate. And so that's what I'm going to focus on next year because my family really, really, really likes vegetables for like salads and stuff. And then because I have an idea, and that's going to be my channel over the winter. I have a couple ideas besides growing my potatoes in bags on the inside like I've been doing. I also have an idea for my outdoor potato area that I'm going to be discussing, and I'm going to be showing. I'm going to be building stuff in my wood shop, which I showed in my video the other day. Um, yes, you can dehydrate. Yes, you can. There's a lot of. I got some elephant garlic out back. I might do a quick video on that on fermenting. I have fermented using the salt water bath, and then I have fermented um, my garlic. And I had a bunch of garlic last year, and that garlic lasted me easily 2 or 3 months. I was just eating fresh garlic. Um, if the elephant garlic grows like it should, um, it should be about the size between a baseball and a softball. They're huge. They were here when I moved here 5 years ago. The lady had planted them, and then we had bought the house, and then I didn't realize it till 3 years ago that we had elephant garlic growing in the yard. So that that's really cool. Um, and then I'm going to put 2 more trees in the spring. Maybe over the winter I'll plant them to get them ready for spring. So I have a bunch of winter stuff planned for the channel because anybody that does gardening knows if you're going to do it to feed families, it's a year-long thing. So you plan out so you can get harvests of something at some point during the year. So elephant garlic is really good. It's big, so it loses a lot of its intensity. It's a more mild garlic flavor. It's still really, really good. If you're a garlic person, but don't like really want to be overwhelmed by it, elephant garlic is great. Um, and then so I'm gonna plant a couple more trees. I'm gonna show my pruning of the trees over the winter. I got some ideas for my potatoes over the winter for outside. I'm gonna be doing all of my garden expansion during the winter, building my boxes and all of that. Um, so you're going to see all that, my fencing, installing my new trellises. So once I hit the ground running next spring, I'm planting my grapevines. I'm planting my cucumbers, everything that climbs on the vines. I'm planting my green beans, my pole beans. Everything that's going to be growing up is going to be planted first. And then I can start planting all the other stuff. Yes, I do potatoes in bags. I do potato bags. I have a bunch of videos. I I'm going to start releasing them because I'm starting my next batch. I did 10 bags. So I grow potatoes in bags so I can have a potato harvest year round. I'm going to be able to grow potatoes down here if it's mild enough. I can grow potatoes down here probably till October, maybe early to late November if the weather participates. And then I'll have bags in my back room. I have grow lights and I have the bags and I have composted dirt ready to go. I have a big lazy Susan I have a video of. I think I put it out there. If I didn't, I'll release the video on my lazy Susan. I put 5 or 6 of my potato bags that have potatoes growing in them, and then I can just rotate them on this big lazy Susan I built in my shop. It's on big wheels, big casters. So I can just keep grow lights on them all day long. I just keep rotating it throughout the day, watering it throughout the day. I can move it over to full sunlight because I have a one window that gives me full sunlight. I have that. And then this year I have a thing I built, like not a terrace, I guess it's kind of like a ladder. It's going to be for herbs. I want to grow chives and cilantro, sweet basil, and maybe just like green onion or something because I love herbs. I love spices. I think that's why I like Chef Zed's channel so much is because if you look at that last one, she just did I don't even know how to say it, Zalaf rice. Um, she did some kind of rice, and it's just all different spices and herbs, and the color, and I can just imagine the smell with the chicken must be just amazing. Uh, and then my other notes were Oh, I had some people, believe it or not, on my Okies Hustle, Jolliffe. Jolliffe. Did I say Jolliffe? I probably said Jolliffe. She made Jolliffe rice. It's a really cool video. On my second channel, I did a couple lives, but I did them on that clunky old laptop. I like to do the lives on my iPhone like this because you can flip the screen real quick and walk around with it if you have to. Otherwise, I'd have to do out in the garden with a laptop, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm over 51. So Spongy Gold and who else did it? They subbed to me. So now I got 51. So I have to wait a little bit. Now I can, on my other channel, I can do lives from my phone. So that's really awesome. Nicola's Recipes, Nikki from Nicola's Recipes, Chef Zed, and you guys, I think you guys follow each other. So she followed my second channel. So now I can actually start to do videos on that. So that's awesome. Hopefully in the next week or two, I'm going to do a couple little cooking videos on things that I make that are very, very simple using potatoes or pinto beans. A couple recipes I like. I know Chef Zed, she's seen me mention them a couple times. I'm going to do those because I've never done cooking videos. Hey, Roy, how you doing? And I want to do a couple cooking videos before me and Chef Zed and Nicola's Recipes we're going to do a collaboration where we're each cooking the same dish. So I just want to make sure my camera, my sound, my lighting, the area in my kitchen is all set up for that. And I want to do a couple trial runs so I can perfect it. And then we will go ahead and do a live. Who wants a couple Okies Eden? This sounded pretty cool. I saw Cooking Beauty do it the other day. She was asking trivia questions. These are specifically dialed into me. I've mentioned all of these things in my videos, so I want to see how many remember or watched. The first one is, does anybody know what my birth month was? And while I'm waiting for the answer to my birth month, I'm going to, I've mentioned this a couple times. Once all my harvest is done out here in the next week or two, that's all going to become pumpkins. And I'm going to be doing a pumpkin live. And nope, it's not February. I'm doing a pumpkin patch live. Hopefully, we're going to see the grape pumpkin. Yep, Chef said January. I am an Aquarius. We're going to do a pumpkin patch. Hopefully, we'll see the grape pumpkin like Charlie Brown come up out of the pumpkin patch. Hopefully, I'll have some good pumpkins to be able to display. But I'm going to do a couple lives even while they're growing because pumpkin plants get huge. So I'm going to be right in the middle of the pumpkin patch. And then I'm going to be telling some ghost stories from my past, from my brothers and sisters that had some accounts. And I have 2 Bigfoot sightings from my old hometown that actually made the internet that people sent into some of the research organizations. And I'm going to have that printed off. And I'm going to read that. In the dark. I'll have a small light so I can read, but it'll be in the dark at the pumpkin patch telling ghost stories in October around Halloween. So I think that's going to be pretty fun. So it's January. Does anybody remember? I've lived personally in 3 states in my lifetime. Does anybody know what 3 states I have lived in and owned a home in my lifetime? That's 1. New York is 1. You are correct. You can get number 2 easy. I'm living here now. New York was 1. There's 2 other states I have personally owned a home in and lived in. Natty, Oklahoma's 2. There's 1 more. Can anybody get the 3rd state I've lived in, personally lived in? Question mark. No, I never lived in question mark. If you know Allison from 55, Busy at 55 or whatever her channel is, Allison. She lives there. I believe August Farms. Charla lives there. I think some of you guys follow them. I'm only about 5 miles from the border as the crow flies. It is separated by the Red River. It is south of Oklahoma. Texas. 41 years I lived in New York. I lived in Texas for 9, I believe, and I've lived here for 5 in Oklahoma now. Does anybody remember? Yes, Chef said. Yep. Close. Yep. Does anybody know how long? Approximate. This is all approximate. Oh my goodness, I got to wash my hands at some point. Does anybody know how long I've had my Okies Eden channel? Just approximate. Have I had it a year? Have I had it 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 10 years? Close. I started it in, well, let's see. I started it in late February, very late February. So March, April, May. So close. 3, 4, 5 months. We're getting there. Yep. So mine's only a couple months old. I literally just started it on late February. I think my first video was possibly February 23rd, I think. My second channel I didn't start till late May, so that just started. Does anybody know how many kids I have? You want a prize? Okay. When? Very good, Natty. Very good. Now I got to give you 2 prizes. Natty's got to have 2 prizes. Allison is going to be making me some Okies Eden. I have a logo. I'm going to try to get some shirts made. I will send you one. That'll be your gift when I get it done. It might take some time because we got to work that all out. I'll try to send you a shirt. I'll hook up later with your address and everything, and you can drop me an email, and I'll try to get you something. So yes, 2 kids. Or who knows? I got to make some cutting boards here in a while. Maybe I'll send you a cutting board. I don't know. There you go. Okay, I'll definitely be a shirt then. Grandkids. How many grandkids do I have? Remember, I'm old, so I could have a bunch. Nope. I have a grandson. I help. I do a lot of. I help with my grandson a lot. He's a special needs, so I do work with him, but not just one. Oh my goodness! No, 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 not 6. So it's between 1 and 6. We know it's between. Yes, Chef said 3. I have 3. I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter. They're all really good kids. Well, Natty, I'm one of 9. I have 8 siblings. Actually, I had I would be one of 11 children. 2 of a brother and a sister died at birth. I never knew them. They would have been my oldest siblings. So we would have had 11 total. But I'm one of 8. I'm right in the middle. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters. It's funny because I have 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters. I have 2 younger brothers and 2 younger sisters. So, yep, very big family, and that's where I got my gardening from because I grew up working on my cousin's farm. He had a dairy farm. We used to milk 64 cows a day, morning and night, through hay for how many years? For till I became into my 20s. We were throwing hay. And when I was a kid, we had to grow our own vegetables to survive, to feed, because my dad worked and my mom stayed home with us because there was so many of us. Uh, hold on just one second. I have to take this. My battery's getting low. I gotta get this on the charger. My phone went almost dead. We had milking machines, so you still had to milk them a little bit. Um, so, and then you'd hook the machines on and you'd go from cow to cow to cow, and then you'd have to clean the next ones while you were waiting to switch the machines over and everything. But still, then you had to do all the chores. Uh, yeah, my kitchen is about 12 by 20. I have a double oven because I love having double oven around holidays. No, she does not. No, she wants nothing. She's the one that talked me into doing it, but she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't really. She likes everything about it, but she just doesn't want to participate. She's just not. She's more closed off. No, not really shy. Yeah, I guess you could say shy. Not camera shy, because I mean she's not a shy person. She just doesn't want to do YouTube, which is no big deal. That's fine. So that's our, I mean, does anybody have any questions for me? Like I said, that garden is a working garden. I literally grow it to feed myself and my family and our friends. That's how I do it. And I like to try, like I said, tomatoes and peppers and the smaller, more vulnerable type plants, I do weed around them just because you have to. But beans, potatoes, turnips, I don't weed around those. They're so strong and they're such hardy plants. They overtake the weeds. I don't even worry about them. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the potato harvest. That's always my favorite, is to see how many potatoes I get out of one plant. My record this year is, well, my record even over last year. The other day, one of the first ones I dug up, one plant was 3 pounds. I dug it up. I could not believe how many russet. They were big. We baked them up. I came in that night. We had baked potatoes. It's in a community post I did. They were huge, and I weighed them as soon as I came in. 3 pounds. Yeah, it is. It's like I love, love harvesting vegetables. We love it. I mean, even when I was a kid, my grandmother, who was one of the greatest people I've ever known in my life, even when she was struggling to, move and to walk, she was 94. When we grew beans and peas, she would come up to the house, she'd put a paring knife in her hand, and she would snip beans and the ends off the peas all day long. She just worked and worked and worked till the day she could not work anymore. Yep, that was the big bowl. And so tonight I will wash, I keep the dirt on them till I use them, because that way they keep longer. I don't wash the potatoes till I use them. They call it seasoning. An old farmer told me that. They leave the dirt on, they'll last longer. So I'll take out 4 or 5 potatoes. I'll wash them tonight. And then what I do, and I'll show this in one of my next videos when I do a cooking video, is I cut them up in home fry style pieces, cube them up pretty much. And then I just boil them till they're fork tender. Then I put them in the fridge. When I'm ready, I take some brown butter or some bacon fat or both with some garlic and onion, and then saute them all together. My favorite potato dish, I'm gonna say scalloped potatoes, or some call them potatoes au gratin, where you make a beurre Marnier, I think is how you say it, where you make a roux basically, and then add your cheese, and you make this really smooth and creamy cheese sauce. Hey, August, no problem. I was just harvesting potatoes in the rain. What I'm going to do when this video is over, just so everybody knows, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add chapters, because I'm going to edit out, if it's choppy in some spots, I'll edit that out. And then I'm going to put chapters in so you know right where I harvested the potatoes, where I picked some green beans, where I picked radishes and kale. That way, if somebody doesn't want to go through the whole video, they don't have to. But I'm guessing I probably got 5 pounds. I'm going to weigh it, and I'll put a community post on later how much the potatoes weigh that I just picked. But I would say potatoes are gratin or scalloped potatoes. It depends on where you live. Yes, you can edit lives. Yep. Yeah, you go back. What you do is you go back into, you got to let it, it's got to finish first, because sometimes it could take a day to upload. Let it, people can go in and watch and make comments, but if you try to go in and edit it, it should give you a message in YouTube Studio that says currently updating, you can't do any edits. Just keep checking. Once it's, you can go in and you can add a title, you can add your hashtags, you can add, you know, keywords, you can do all of that stuff even while it's editing itself, while it's uploading, because YouTube's checking it to make sure there's no conflicts with anything. Once that's done, then you can go in, just go into your YouTube dashboard and bring up content. Click on lives. You're going to see your lives show up, right? Click on the live you want to edit, just like you normally would. Once that comes up, look to the left. You're going to see analytics. You're going to see settings, all that stuff to the left. You're going to see the word editor, okay? You click on that, you're in that specific video. It's going to bring it up in the right-hand corner of on your screen on your computer. You're going to see you right at the beginning of the video, and then you're going to have this whole chart down here. It's going to have all the time. And then you start to play the video. And then if there's something you want to edit out, you just go up and there's a trim or a cut and paste or whatever. So you can, if you have a 20-second in the beginning dead space, you go up, you click plus edit. You'll see 2 blue brackets, one at the beginning, one at the end. Just click on it. You can drag the first 20 seconds to get rid of all that dead space. If there's a spot at the end where the ending didn't do the way you wanted it, you just don't want the ending there, you go to the other side, you just grab that blue line and you pull it forward. And then you hit a check mark. That's one edit. Then you can go back in. If there's a section where you tripped and fell and you don't want that in there, just scroll through the time, you'll find it, then hit cut, and then it'll give you red ones in the center, and then you'll just grab the red brackets, move them where you want to cut the section out, and then hit save, and then it goes back into a mode where it's editing. It might take an hour, but then when you come back, the video's short, and then it took that section out you didn't want. But just understand, if we click on hearts, I don't know that. I got to look at that. I don't know if the hearts help or not. I always do it just because it's there and I think it's cool to hit it 1,000 times. The like button helps. The commenting in the chat helps. And then afterwards, I always tell people, don't go in, go sub for sub. But I always ask people, go down in the bottom, put your channel in the bottom. If you're trying to grow as a YouTuber, just put what your channel's about. And don't say sub to me, don't do anything, just say, hey, my channel is about gardening, or my channel's about doing makeup or cooking. And then people can come on later to comment. If they see that, they say, well, I do gardening, I'm gonna go see this person. So they would say, okay, well, August Creek Farmhouse, oh, that sounds cool. They'll go look at her stuff. And then, Jenny, it's no problem, don't worry about it. You're good. And then they can go to your site, and then if they want to sub, they can sub. Just avoid the sub for sub. You can sub to them later, like, watch, you know, correspond with them on their comments, and then subscribe. But sub for sub is dangerous. It will shut your channel down quick. It'll slow it down for a couple days. But yeah, that's all you got to do. And then just after you're done with the editor, you hit save. It'll edit your live. Now, just remember, if you had an hour live and you edited 10 minutes out of it, it will then when it's all done, it's going to go back in and edit your time watched. So that's why a lot of people just leave them organic. They don't touch them. So if you have an hour long video and you had 10 people watch it for the full hour, you got 10 hours. But if you go back in and you take 5 minutes away, it'll subtract 50 minutes because it's going to take 5 minutes away from each person because you've just taken away some of the video, is the way I understand it. I think that's how it does it. Is there a way to subscribe while we are watching a live? Because after I leave the live. So what I do on a live is, if you have a blue wrench, Charla, all you have to do is click on their picture. So if you do that, say with Natty Homemaker right now, if you click on her picture, it'll bring up a small drop box and it'll say, go to channel. You click on that, my live should go down like in the corner, still running, and then you can actually go in and see their channel. And then when you're done, you can just click on the live again and it'll just expand it back out again. But yeah, now that you have if you have a blue wrench like you do, you can go to anybody's channel, click on it, and see what their channel's about. Or the other way to do it is just take a snapshot. If you have your phone, pardon me, I'm still picking dirt out of my mouth because I was eating vegetables out there. But yeah, you can, I just take a snapshot on my phone a lot of times if I don't have a blue wrench. And then it just, not a screenshot. And then it just sends it to your photo file, and then I can go search those people out later. Dirty words, yes. Yep. Oh, dirty words, that's awesome, yeah. Yes, I'm saying dirty words. Hey, that's how we did it back in the day. And it clicked me out. Oh, Natty, yeah, Natty Homemaker is really cool. Yep, she's very supportive. Natty would really enjoy August Creek. Everybody that's been showing up here, like Chef Zed, Jenny. Jenny does, if anybody's not followed Jenny, Jenny does the crocheting and stuff. And it's just funny because my wife, my mother-in-law, my wife's grandmother, they all crocheted through the years. And she was doing an Afghan the one day that looked just like the one my wife's grandmother had done years ago for her. And the colors, everything was right to a T. I don't know if I'm a wealth, but it's just stuff I've learned a little bit back here and there. Now, what I will do is before I leave, I didn't realize this. I'm going to share this with everybody here. I never knew this. Mrs. Paula does retirement. I think everybody here knows Mrs. Paula. Before I leave, I'll remove your wrenches, because if you want to go back in afterwards and place a comment, I believe she said, I have to look this up, but I have to remove the wrench or you can't go in and comment later. So before I leave, I'll remove everybody's wrenches, and that way, if you want to go in and comment and try to subscribe or hook up with other people, yes, then that's great. So, okay, Natty says that's true, yes. So, and I didn't know that. And that's why the other night people were like, well, don't give me a wrench, take my wrench away. Don't. So I didn't realize it. And then she says, no, Jason, the reason they want that is because you can, you can't comment later. So, but, well, thank you, August. Diamond in the Sticks. Hey, Diamond. How are you doing? Yep, I know you know a lot of the people here too. But so with that said, just so you guys all know, I'm going to go out and continue harvesting and picking some more beans, and I want to get stuff cleaned up and washed up, and then I got to go wash up because digging potatoes in the rain does that to your hands. That's not a disease, that's dirt. So, but what are you cooking? Diamond, what are you cooking? Potatoes? I have potatoes if you want them. Yeah, I don't know about that, but dirty hands. So yeah, I'm going to post on there later. When I'm done here, I'm going to go weigh the potatoes, and then just about an hour from now, I'll post, because I got a little work to do outside. I'm going to post the weight of those 3 plants. I dug up 3 potato plants, and you know, I'll weigh them and I'll post that on the community post. Charlotte, anytime. That's what my second site is about. It's about YouTube growth and trying to get monetized and help other people to get monetized. I'm just going to be honest. This is what worked for me. This is what hurt me on my channel. This is what helped me on my channel. I want people to give me ideas. I'll try them. I want to give people ideas. I'm not a guru. I'm not a genius. I read the stuff. I follow YouTube. I study it. And then I try to pass that on. And that's what I really like to do, is to help other people to try to grow their channels. Chicken Alfredo. Oh, yeah. Yep. Just real quick, I had my grandson last night. And a lot of times I usually cook every night, something. But the night I have my grandson, I'm going to be up, you know, I get over there about 6, and I'm there until about 9 or 10 the next morning. So I don't plan a lot of stuff that day because I try to take a nap or rest just so I'm ready for the evening in case it's a rough night. So yesterday I made literally Kraft macaroni and cheese with cut up hot dogs, and it was delicious. So I'm right there with you. Jenny, I do not sell at the farmers markets. Someday I will. The area I have, they have a little one, but it's not a very successful one. It's starting to grow. Eventually I probably will. But yeah, eventually I'd like to get bees. But that's down the road. Right now I'm just trying to garden and do vegetables. But with that said, everybody, I am going to go watch for my post, my community post later on. And I'm also going to do a live from my other channel this week because I hit 51 subscribers, so I can do it from my phone now. So, woohoo, I hit my first goal. So look for my community post on the weight of the potatoes. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and for subscribing and communicating and interacting. I appreciate it. You guys all have a great day. Take care.